Toronto Maple Leafs fall to the Vancouver Canucks in a brutal game, and the Canucks get in late. Everyone thinks the Leafs are going to come out and be the better team. They showed a lack of effort, a lack of discipline, and that power play was absolutely atrocious. We're going to break it all down. Welcome in everybody to the stream. And Darius, this is not the vibe we wanted to have. You said it off me off camera. You said it in the video today. We thought that the Leafs were going to go ahead and win against the Canucks with ease. They didn't, and nonetheless, unfortunately, they lost this one pretty badly. And I mean, at this point, there's not much to say. Back-to-back brutal losses. I'm sure Craig Berube is going to have a mouthful for him. Dennis Hildeby with a rough goal in the first minute of the game and then started to play a little bit better here. The team's going to be fine. I'm not hitting the panic button. Positive. Thank you, positive. It hits harder when they win, but I agree it is a bop. I sing it off camera as well. Let's keep the vibes high. Horrible game. The Leafs played bad. Back-to-back brutal games. Matthews looks disinterested. The team is following him by looking disinterested. Darius, it's a rough one.
Yeah, maybe we'll release the song on Spotify one of these days. We'll try and get that released to you guys, official release. But that was horrible. That was
Yeah,
like honestly one of the worst games of the entire year. Honestly, like we've watched games this year where they looked pretty bad, and I don't think it was as bad as that. That was embarrassing. I used the word embarrassing to you off camera before we went live, and like that was just embarrassing. The Canucks got into Toronto at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Like that's embarrassing. You have to win that game. I don't care how you do it, but you should win that game. And the power play, we talked about it in our video this morning. The power play, I was hoping for big things from it, like a big response, and nothing. That complete opposite. Horrible. Absolutely awful. I'm putting that in the jar for one of the worst games of the year. That was just so, I was so disinterested by the second period. It was unbelievable. Like there was no bounce back whatsoever. I think two guys played well. And actually, like if you want to include Hildeby in that after the first goal, I thought that he played actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Made
he
some
still
decent
only had
saves.
14 saves, but
Right.
he did look better.
No, he looked better. And I mean, the second goal that's a tough play. First goal is a tough play. Off a leg, high slot, deflection is really tough for a goalie. And then the third goal, like whatever. The Leafs didn't score a goal tonight. You got to help out your goaltender to a degree. Obviously, we saw it last game with Woll. Like he's got to stop a few to give you a chance to win. But in this one, they didn't even score a goal. So Hildeby, I thought was okay. McMahon, I thought had a decent game, and Robertson, I thought had a good game. But that's it.
Yeah, Robertson looked good. Again, we were here a week ago, a few days ago, after their wins in a row, 5 wins in a row. We're saying the team looked different. They looked good. And I do think that they did look very solid up until the last few games here. And the last two were really bad. I don't think the vibe is killed. I think this team is going to be perfectly fine. I think they're going to make some trades. I think everything's going to be okay. But for now, it was very bad. Phil Myers had a good game as well. I like the way he played. He was solid as well there. Who was our captain again? Yeah, I mean, he looks... It's been rough. Steven Lorentz, 6 minutes on the ice tonight, which is a lot lower than usual for him. Ultimately, like, it was a bad game. I agree. But the bright side, and there's not much bright side, Jim will get you in here shortly. I see you called in ready to go early today. But ladies and gentlemen, we don't need to be positive because let's not be delusional and pretend like that was a good game. The Leafs are still first in the Atlantic. The Panthers lost today. In overtime, albeit. Probably shouldn't have got that extra point, but the Bruins will be the Bruins. I don't really know what's going on right now. And laziness, just not playing well. Darius, I don't know if you have any thought. Like they look like a completely different team than what they did 4 days ago.
There's no killer instinct right now. A lot of guys. I thought Pacioretty looked slow tonight. I thought a lot of guys looked slow and just disinterested. I don't know what the deal is there, but complete 180 from what we've seen so far this season. And clearly, like, Berube probably had something to say in between periods, and they just didn't follow through on that. Like, they started the third period horribly. I want to bring up a stat as well over the last couple seasons. The Leafs power play rankings league-wide by season. If you go 1920, we'll go back a few years. 1920, 6th. 2021, the shortened year, 10th. 21-22, they were the best power play in the NHL. 22-23, they were 4th. Even last year, with the way that they finished 6th in the league, and right now they're sitting 18th in the league. That's not even close to good enough. They got to be at least top 10 with those guys that they have on the roster. Power play is not good, and I think we should, we don't have to be delusional, like you said. We don't have to say, this guy had a great game and that, whatever. It was a bad game. This was a horrible game. We can talk about it like that, but let's be constructive as well. Like, let's not talk about how the Leafs are not going to win a Stanley Cup because of this game, because this is not how they've played all season, right? So they'll probably bounce back. But this was bad, and I saw a lot tonight that I've seen in years past. So they got to get the power play going. And at some point, it's not Guy Boucher, it's not Mark Savard, it's not all these guys. Because I saw something out there earlier, I can't remember who said it. Maybe Mark Savard should be fired at this
I saw
point.
that
Maybe they
as
should
well.
bring somebody else new. They should bring somebody new in. No, I don't think so. Like at one point, is it the personnel? It's the same players that are giving you the same results. Switch it up.
Yeah. Deer in the headlights moment for the Leafs. Yeah, I mean they played terrible, and I'm not too worried about it. Quite frankly, I just like these are games that are going to happen. It's unacceptable, yes, but like I mean it's going to happen. Joseph Wall night off. He's gonna when do the Leafs play again? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So they play again Tuesday. They're gonna come back. Mike always trolls. Actually, I recognize you, Mike Blizzard. I remember you definitely always troll. I recognize the trolling, but it is extremely interesting. And I think ultimately the team looked bad, but I mean they'll play. The Stars, I believe, Tuesday, and they'll. I mean, you're gonna have to play your best. It's right, yeah, Stars Tuesday. You're gonna have to play your best hockey on Tuesday, and if they don't, they're gonna lose again and fall out of the spot. They got themselves a cushion in the Atlantic. They have to keep pressing on that. Have to keep pushing because if they don't, they're gonna find themselves. I mean, their cushion is minimal. Let's be very
I
clear
think
with
it's two
that.
points at this
I
point.
think
So
it's three,
it's
right? I think it's three because the
Florida
Pan
won.
in overtime. They
Oh no,
lost
Boston
today.
won in
Yeah, they
overtime. Right?
lost.
Yeah,
So it
that's
should be
right.
a 3-point lead, which
Yeah.
again is bad. But yeah, so it's a 3-point lead. But the Panthers have one game in hand, so really it's a possible 1-point lead. So we are obviously standing watching at this point of the season, but it was a devastating one. It was a devastating one. It is on the players, and I think they'll bounce back. Let's get Jim in here. Let's get Jim in here to get his thoughts because
Let's do
it's
it.
also quick note. It'll be a quicker stream tonight for obvious reasons. I mean, the team looked terrible out there, but
Not much to talk about.
Jim, I think I got you in here. Jim, it was a horrible game, and it's a Saturday night. The vibes are my vibes are still okay, but I think the team will be fine. But let's hear it. Let's hear some positivity, Jim. Let's get the energy up, or dump,
Gentlemen,
or rip him into him if
listen.
you want.
Well, no. Well, I'm going to keep it real tonight. So I missed the last game altogether, and then when I saw the box score, and unfortunately I did watch the so-called highlights of the Carolina game. I was coming into this game expecting big things. I was expecting a big response, and the Leafs were home. They were rested. The storylines out there. Van got in late and all that. And I was expecting them to come out, right? So, wow, the team did not show up tonight, and they looked like the ones that were on the red eye and had like an unusual like 8:20 in the morning kind of game where they were ill prepared for this game, and I don't understand it, but. So that's the closest I'm going to get to negative today. I agree with the points you guys made in the sense that, like, in the big scheme of things, like let's just say, like, a lot of the games throughout a year, you're going to have wins, and we've had a few of them where the Leafs won games where they shouldn't have. Well, tonight was one of the few, and unfortunately in this season we can say it's few games that the Leafs have had inferior competition that they've lost to. In the past, we've all noted before, that would have been that was systematic of this entire organization in the sense that they would always lose these games that were just garbage teams for the most part. And they flush away 2 points. Well, tonight happened, but I don't think this is. I don't think this is an example of what this team is. I think it's two back-to-back games with similar results. But at the same time, I still believe strongly in the core of this team, and they're going to get it straight. And more importantly, guys, I think Berube is a no-nonsense guy. He is going to be very aware of what's going on in the last few games. They have not responded to whatever was put in place after the Carolina game, and I strongly believe that we're going to see a very different work ethic at the very least come Tuesday. Thoughts?
Something is going to change come Tuesday. I mean, whether it be something in the lineup, I don't know what it is. Also, McCabe might return Tuesday, is what we're hearing as well, or as early as Tuesday, so that might help. But something's got to change. They haven't responded now for 2 games in a row. Like you mentioned, I don't think this is what this team is, but this is concerning nonetheless, the way that they've played the last 2 games, especially tonight. Absolutely no excuse for tonight. I don't know what that is, but it was interesting, that perspective that you brought on, needing to win this game. But the way I was looking at it is I was looking ahead in the schedule and saying you need to win this game against the Canucks because they're not doing well this season. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. And if you look ahead at this week, You play the Dallas Stars, who are a top team in the NHL. Then on Thursday, you play the New Jersey Devils, who are a top team in the NHL. And then I didn't know this, but the hottest team in the NHL next Saturday against the Montreal Canadiens. So
Absolutely.
you have to be prepared. You have to come prepared. And it doesn't get easier after that. You play Tampa, another divisional rival. When you're looking ahead at next week, the Blue Jackets are in the mix in the playoffs now. The Senators as well are playing really good. So it doesn't get easier. This is a game that I thought you got to get 2 points here because it could get really interesting over the course of the next couple
Yeah.
of weeks.
Absolutely, Nick, or excuse me, Darius. Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, moving forward, like I think so we've got some heady competition coming up, obviously. But I think if you're gonna blow a couple games, excuse me, if you're gonna blow a couple games, the Vancouver one tonight, honestly, you mentioned like that team as an organization is just, in a tailspin, as I put in the chat. But they really are. And so, but it was kind of the Leafs that looked like they were the ones that were like facing all sort of adversity. You mentioned McCabe, Darius. I wanted to say, like, I think the last couple of games have probably put an exclamation mark on just some of the defensive pairing warts this team kind of has when he's out of the lineup, and it really kind of highlights what a key fixture he is in terms of the Leafs' defense and their success, right? I think some of the pairings that they've kind of cobbled together, makeshift. I guess they could work, but if you look at playoff stuff, absolutely, we need him back and possibly somebody else. And I think tonight, I think to put tonight's game in the best perspective possible, and this is just my take on it, is that when you've got a line that is made up of the arguably some of the more inconsistent players, being Robertson, Domi, and McMahon, being the ones that are the absolute most noticeable for the Leafs perspective in the entire game. That's not a good sign for our core four. But anyways, off game for them to be sure. I'm just trying to think of some positives, guys. It's just tough to find them out. Hildeby, I don't know. He was had an up and down game, but God, I'm really searching here for something positive. I don't know, guys.
I'll give you a
wasn't
positive.
a lot of. Please give me one, Nick. I'm dying here.
That you called into the stream tonight. You missed the last one. You got the call in.
Nick.
We'll take that as and Shane's in here as well. Shane's in here as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll take.
All right, guys.
Positive.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I got for tonight, guys. I strongly believe that Berube is going to turn these guys around, and we're going to see. I just want to see that work ethic because I mean, sorry, one more thing I want to say. We talked about the power play. One thing that kind of really stood out for me now. I didn't see the final stats on the game, but first 2 power plays of the game. Did you guys catch this? How many shots the Leafs had on those generated on those first 2 power plays?
2.
0.
Oh, I thought it was 0. I thought it was 2
on the first 2 power play. 0 shots.
Yeah, I think I saw that as well.
Yeah, so
the other team had more.
That to me, right? Exactly. They had shorthanded chances. Exactly. And so, like, that's the kind of stuff where I think, I'm no power play specialist, but end of the day, shots on net, and they seem to revert back to that, trying to look for the perfect pass, and they're all in the perimeter. We need a man in front of the net, 4 shots at the net, and go for the ugly, dirty, garbage goals. Put JT and Nyes in front, big bodies, shove some guys around, and let's get something ugly so we can just move forward and get something going, because this power play looks like trash. But other than that, guys, great game. Yeah, you guys, always a pleasure, guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll be listening and chatting in.
All right, take it easy, Jim. Thanks for calling in.
care.
I want to everyone shout out to Jim in the chat, always holding it down here on the call-ins. Couple players I want to bring up, obviously. Connor Timmins, really bad. Morgan Riley, pretty bad.
Not great.
I saw, was it you, Shane? I think Riley is 100% in the hot seat. There is a world I could see that. I don't know about a hot seat, but there's a world where they change something up with Morgan Riley. He just looks bad. And again, he has some flashes. I don't know. I mean, do they need to add a defenseman? No, because Jake McCabe is coming back. I think that's going to be fine. He's going to replace Connor Timmins and get Connor Timmins as far away from the Toronto Maple Leafs as you possibly can. He's been bad for weeks now, really. I can't remember the last time he's had a very good game. And it was at the start of the season, the first half, he played good. now he started to phase out. And even in a game like tonight where everyone plays bad, Philip Myers, I think, played a lot better of a game than Connor Timmins did. And I mean, at least Philip Myers throws his body around, does something. Granted, he didn't have a hit, but at least he's using his body. He's playing fine. I don't know. It's is the lack of the
Lack of impact.
That's a good one.
It's not. I've been checking. They haven't been posting Leaf games. I don't know what's going on, or they've been really delayed with
They have
some
a
of the other
boycott of
postings as
they
well.
have a Leafs game boycott.
They genuinely, I'm not joking. They've not been posting the Leafs ones, but in terms of Morgan Riley, this is where I'm okay. So coming into this game, and I defended him on stream, like last stream or two streams ago.
Yeah, stream before last.
The stream before last, and he scored the overtime winner last Sunday, I believe, against the Flyers. I think it was. So I came out and defended him, and I'm like, listen, like he catches a lot of flack, all this stuff. But I was expecting a big game from him here because there's been so much made out of it the last little while, and he hasn't been playing great overall. He hasn't this season. This is what I think you do, and this might be a hot take. I'm going to put it out there. Next game, you keep the lineup the same, except for Morgan Riley, who you healthy scratch, and you put Marshall Rafai in there.
I don't
and
hate
you put
it.
Marshall Rafai. Marshall Rafai is hungry, young guy, wants to get into the lineup. Not that young, but still, you know what I mean? Like a Marley, like a fringe guy. Wants to get into the lineup. He's fighting for it. They're keeping him around. Healthy scratch Morgan Riley, and then put him back in the lineup next game and see what happens. We saw there was a noticeable difference between Simone Benoit earlier this season, him getting scratched that one game, and him coming back. Very noticeable difference for me. So do that. See what happens. I mean, why not? And this is what I'm thinking after tonight too. You got to do some things. And I was hoping that Berube was going to do it on the third power play tonight, because I don't know why those guys still got that opportunity to have the third power play after the first two. Take Matthews off the first power play unit. Just do it. Just do like something, put an eyes there. Do something else. Anything. Mix it up. Literally anything else. Just try something. And that's where I'm at. And I would scratch, I'm not joking, against Dallas, maybe New Jersey, scratch Morgan Riley. Scratch him. Yeah. Let him sit one game and see how he responds.
Yep, he's been playing bad, and ultimately, they need to do something. Berube needs to change something, and hopefully, it's I wouldn't put it past him to do something extremely drastic here. And I don't think it's going to be a benching out some Matthews or something like that, like fans want, but it might be a Morgan Riley benching. It might be changing up the blue line pairs. They need to get Marshall. They need to get Rafai in the game, because the defense can't get worse than it has been the past couple of games, and the impact is the lack of impact chart, like Nick says, it's very, very evident right now. But I don't know, a rough one that we'll hopefully forget and not come back to in the foreseeable future, because if they play like this again, we'll be in for a long second half of the season. But any final thoughts in the chat before we wrap it up here? It always sucks when they have games like this, but it's okay. On to the next.
We could do
3 stars.
Should we even do a 3 stars?
We can do a very quick 3 stars.
Yeah, like I don't even know what to do. Like I feel like Hildeby has to be in there just because.
I'm gonna go Robertson, Philip Myers, and I think Bobby McMahon played okay as well.
Yeah, I think those 3.
Not
I would
in that
also
order, but
I didn't mind Hildeby's game tonight. I don't know if I'd give him a star, but I think those 3 are actually, that's a great choice. But maybe I would replace, I'd put Hildeby 3rd star maybe. I'll just do that, and then I will have I'll take Philip Myers out, honorable mention. Let's just do that. But I thought Myers had a great, Matt, he keeps it simple. He just keeps it simple. He plays his game. He's continuing to get better the more games he gets in, because he actually needs to play to get better and to get up to speed. So don't mind his game, but that's it. That was a tough one, man. There was not much there at all. And for everyone ragging on Hildeby, because I saw a lot of that on Twitter as well, you got to score a goal. Score at least a goal, 2 goals, and then you can blame it on the goalie if you want. They didn't even score a goal tonight. It's brutal.
Nothing. McMahon first, Robertson second, Myers third. I agree. Yeah, that's the same way that I had. I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button on your way out. Let's try to get to 25 likes right now. Team, what's up, Paul? As well, I saw you in here. It's interesting that Berube has no qualms about putting lines in the blender, but doesn't touch power play. Yeah, lines were completely. They had Tavares in the first line tonight.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you know who the actual first star of the game is tonight? Because this just
you're gonna say Craig Berube?
No, it's not Craig Berube. It's whoever bought a ticket to tonight's game and it was their first game ever. Because every time the Leafs get shut out or have a poor performance at home, I think about people like that, where I'm like, it's probably their first game ever, and they spent $300. So that's who the first star is. But about the power play, go on.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna say wouldn't that technically be first star? Shout out to those people, even though they got a horrible quality for their money. So I feel bad for you.
That's what yeah. They got nothing in return for their money.
Well, you did get was to watch some Canucks score, and I guess you got to watch Quinn Hughes out there as well. But that'll wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know. We'll see you for the video like usual tomorrow. Pretty big video tomorrow. You don't want to stay tuned for that one. Thank you all who tuned in. Losses like this are going to happen. We've been through a bunch of them, of course, throughout the year. When you go live every game, there's going to be some games like this. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, hit the like button, commented, Jim, Shane, every single person in here. Thank you so much. We'll have a video for you all tomorrow, and have a safe evening. And hopefully Tuesday will be a different outcome, but we will see you all in the stream tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and of course, a video tomorrow.
Digest your daily dose of gold.